Bonjour, all my beautiful fans out there. Welcome to another episode of Pod Scum. As always, I am your host, Rex Ruger, Triple X Rex, down and dirty as always. And this is the No Frills podcast, doing it like an almost 50-year-old guy should. No cute intro, no animation, no cutesy little song to bring me in. We just get right down to it. We dive into the dark and murky right here on Pod Scum. And you may also know me by my other moniker, soon to be official, David Lee Roth Jr. Is there any doubt that I'm the man with the clout? That's right. The son of glam, the front man for the band. Love a little PB and jam. Just going out with a bang, smoking a bunch of grams. Wah babaloo bapa wah bang bang shazam. Hot damn. I am the man with the golden voice and the silver tongue, ladies. Hardest working man in show business, coming to you from the den of sin. But tonight it ain't pink. It's my blue room. And we got a good one for you tonight. Good guest. And see, the reason I don't give you the frills and the glitz and the big intro and the fancy, because that way, without the frills, you get more of the thrills. And the thrills is me, the front man of the band. See, you even get to see me in my half-assed attempts to invite my guests in. You get to see behind the curtain here, warts and all. And tonight, man, I got one that I'm excited about. A guy from a band that I love. So much so that I'm not even going to pump my other bands. Maybe after the show. Maybe not at all. Not in this guy's presence, man. I bow down. I love this band's sound. I'm excited. I'm trying not to fanboy a little bit because obviously he's the one meeting the rock star. So he should be feeling that way on his end. But I digress. Let me give myself a look here. I want him to be the... have him come in upstaging me. Of course, my look, as always, is brought to you by... That's right. Killer of Ozones. But if you want to get the beautiful locks, get the hairspray that rocks. That's right. What else can I say? I am blessing you guys with a very, very, very good interview tonight. One that I'm very proud of. And I think you guys are going to love it too. I mean, it's... So while we wait for our guests, I guess I will go into some of my projects then. As I've told you before, the Jizz Drops just dropped our Red Hot album. Go check it out on all major music platforms. Meet Whistler's Delight. Get to see the king of sleaze, the #1 scumbag, numero uno in the hairball department. Get to see him do his thing. I mean, come on, it's David Lee Roth Jr. You're getting the whole experience. Walk like the man, talk like the man, sashay like the man. Also, you can see me in Come on the Rug. We have a self-titled EP coming out because that's the way to do it nowadays, EPs. Well, I digress because now our guest is joining us, which I'm very happy about. Yeah. Once we get him in here.
What do you mean?
There he is. Hello, sir.
Hey, what's going on, Rob? I mean, guys, that's not your name.
Rex.
I mean, Mark.
Yeah, but hey, but for the sake of this, you see the name down below. It's Rex Ruger. And Freddy, it's Rex with 3 X's because, when you're the king of sleaze, you got to have it that way, right? I mean,
okay.
I hope that I'm going to tell you right now, the honor's all yours because you're looking at David Lee Roth Jr. right here.
Oh, yeah?
Once the hard science comes in, I'm going to make a big announcement. And, yeah.
Okay.
So this is So for all my people out there in Pod Scum land, this is Freddy Herrera, bass player for one of my all-time favorite bands. I mean, Everclear is just such a great fucking band.
Thanks, man.
Now,
Thanks.
when I was getting my notes together and checking out all the stuff you've done, I noticed that one of the most mind-bending things that boggled my mind was all the different genres that they had you listed on. Do you like that kind of shit, though? Do you guys feel like you just fall into one genre? I mean, to name a few, you've been alt-rock, power pop. I don't even know what the fuck that even is. Power pop, post-grunge, grunge punk, pop punk.
That's just stuff to write, man. We're just a rock band.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, well, people got to put you in a thing, you know. They got to put you in a little
Right. A bubble.
It doesn't matter.
Right,
They
right.
They have something to call you.
Right, right. So if you had to call yourself a band, that's what you would say? We're just a rock band.
Yeah, just a rock band. That's what Art always says that, you know. We're just a rock band, rock and roll band.
Now, what's it like working with a guy? You came into the band 2009.
Yeah.
You know, when you come into a band like that with a guy like Art, who just seems to be such a presence and such a creative force, you know, does he allow you guys? I know he writes a lot and does a lot. Does he allow you guys any room in there for contributions?
Yeah, I mean, we play our parts. He guides us to where we're going, but it's not like he's telling us, you know, every single note to play. We're in the band, so to contribute what we got, you know?
Right.
And
right.
he's cool enough. There's some guys, they don't let you do that. You do exactly what they want.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's fine, but Art's not like that. He definitely gives us some leeway and some room to express ourselves.
Now, what was your route into getting into the band? Did Art see you playing somewhere else, or did you previously know him? What's your story about that got you into Everclear?
Well, I was playing in a band. I had been in a band called the Exies. And we were signed. We were independently signed. Then we got signed to Virgin, and we did a record. This is in 2000, and it came out in 2003. But at the end of 2002, for a Christmas show, you know, radio stations have Christmas shows or whatever.
Right.
We were playing that, and Everclear was headlining. This was in DC. Watched it for DC 101, and Art had heard our song. So he came down early because we're a baby band. So
yeah,
we're playing very early. And he came down. He made sure to come down to watch us. He wanted to see us. He liked the song. Yeah, it's great. We got done playing and he came down, introduced himself. He's like, hey, you guys want to go on tour? And we're like, hell yeah. And so we set it up for, I forget when we left. It was probably like early summer of 2003. We started, and it went really well. We were having a lot of fun, and him and I hit it off well. So the end of that was the last tour, last year that the other two guys, Craig and Greg, were in the band. And he actually asked me at the end of our time on that tour. He still had more time on that tour, but we left. And he asked me if I would be interested in playing with the band after Craig left. And I was flattered. I told him that, but you know, the Exies were my band, and I wanted to see it out. I wanted to see it through and see what happened. You know,
right.
And I think he appreciated that. And fast forward 6 years later, you know, I'm looking for something. The Exies, we did what we did, and it was a great band, but we kind of ran out of steam.
Yeah.
So I was looking for other stuff. So I called him up, and just so happens he had just decided to make a change with his bass player that day. And I just called him out of the blue. We've seen each other off and on over the years.
Yeah.
You know, and said hi. He came to see the Exies a couple times. And
a lot of it can be attributed to luck and being in the right place at the right time.
I'm a firm believer of that. You got to be lucky. You got to be good at what you do, but you got to be lucky too.
Now, when you look back on, and you know, the whole spectrum of the work that Everclear's done. I think he's been, very consistent, always stayed true to their sound. Art always seems to make sure that every Everclear album is top notch. But when you look back at those especially seminal albums, and I'm mainly thinking of what the fans would say, probably Sparkle and Fade, and So Much for the Afterglow. What were you doing when those albums came out? And did those albums like speak to you on any level? Do you look at them that way too, as important albums?
Yeah, completely. I wasn't, I obviously had heard Santa Monica. You couldn't escape it.
You couldn't go anywhere and not hear that.
Yeah. But I was doing the band that I was in at the time. We were doing more like Stonesy, Black Crowsy kind of stuff. So
bluesy, yeah.
But I always knew it was a good song, and I knew it was a good band. And So Much for the Afterglow, I loved.
Yeah, beautiful
went
album.
Went out and bought it. Just cranking it. I can remember.
Wow, you're dating yourself right there, Freddie. Saying you went out and bought an album.
I'm no spring chicken.
Yeah,
but,
me neither. I remember buying albums.
It is what it is. And I'm glad I'm the age I am because I get to see all the cool bands.
Yeah. So what's it like when you step into the role of playing those songs now? I mean, do you gain more of an appreciation for them? Like once they become your songs and you're playing them on a nightly basis?
100%. You totally hit it right. The appreciation level. I mean, all props to Art and Craig for coming up with those bass lines because they're great.
Yeah.
And Craig is a great bass player.
Yeah.
Really he was always good. He was always very cool to me. And when Art offered me the gig, I called him. I'm like, look, man, I'm gonna take this, and I hope you're cool with it. And he was very cool.
I very much look at a guy like Art. And I have him like right there on a list of people that are in that same like Kurt Cobain vein, just very creative, driving forces behind their band. I every bit just equate like what he does, and it's criminal that he doesn't get that kind of recognition, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, he is a force, man. The dude can write a song. He's a great writer and great singer, great melodies. He's got the whole thing. And
a lot of activism too.
Yeah. It's great. Him and I are definitely on the same page with that. And to be around him and watching him work when the two or three records that we've done since I've been in the band, it's a marvel.
Now speak to that a little bit, that you just brought that up, that's something like you feel a kinship with him about, activism. How important is it? I know that Art has been very active in gay rights, child advocacy stuff, autism causes. Do you share a lot of the same causes? And if not, like, what's your level as far as activism goes? What causes are you passionate about?
Yeah, I do. I feel the same way about everything. I mean, we talk about stuff all the time, and I'm very much into Native American activism. I'm a Native American.
Okay.
So actually this shirt right now is a shirt for missing and murdered Native American women. And there's a huge problem. And
really?
A lot of it doesn't go reported.
I guess my question would be, why is it not going reported though? Like, are people not missing these women? Like, who are these women, and why aren't they being accounted for?
Yeah, of course they're missed, but they live on reservations, and it's kind of a separate thing. Reservations are their own individual country.
Right.
For lack of a better term. So a lot of times the police won't step in. The tribal police do what they can, but they can't go across those boundaries, and so it's a drag.
God.
It's way more than a drag, but that's, it's an awful thing.
That makes me feel like shit sitting over here with a Cannibal Corpse shirt on.
As long as people.
No, that's a great cause. That's a great cause.
Yeah. It's very important. Very important.
Now, your first album that you actually appeared on was Return to Santa Monica, correct?
No. We did Invisible Stars first.
Okay, so you were on Invisible Stars, but when you do Return to Santa Monica, did Art give you a reason as to why he wanted to do like reissues and reworkings of past songs or past hits and tweak them? They come off as very like a little more trippier and more psychedelic. I think
he just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
He wanted to do it, and it was a cool thing. And, you know, we pretty much did them, exactly the same, and the fun thing on those were the covers, you know.
Yeah, the covers. That's what I was going to
Yeah.
ask you about the covers.
Yeah.
Who decides on those covers? Do you guys all have input, or like, how do you select? You got Tom Petty on there, Steve Miller,
Yeah, I think
Police.
yeah, I think that's all Art, it's just songs that he'd always wanted to do. And,
Yeah.
if you look back to his history, he's done quite a bit of covers, and really well, and he's put his own spin on it.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. I really like the Brown Eyed Girl one. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
I Won't Back Down by Tom Petty. Fantastic.
Yeah. And we lately on the road we've been throwing in his version of Boys Are Back in Town.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. So so the first album after that one was or the new one is the last album, Black is the New Black? Is that the last Everclear album we've gotten?
Yeah, that's the last one. And
that was 2015. So is there another Everclear album in the works? Will we see new material from you guys?
Yeah, we're working on a song right now. Art talked about it a couple months ago, and the song's called Year of the Tiger.
Okay.
It's a rocker. Okay. We should have had it done before we went on this tour this year in June, but our engineer, producer, just engineer, Art produces. He got COVID.
Oh God!
We had a small window.
Who hasn't gotten it? I guess. How have you fared during it? Have you gotten it yourself?
I have not gotten it.
Thank God. I had it a couple times.
You did? Wow.
Yeah. Very mild cases, I believe. I my day job is a nurse, so I work in healthcare. So.
Oh really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm in the trenches every day.
Well, it looks like today there. Are you ditching work?
Well, here by state law, if you had it, you had to be out for a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You had to be out for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where are you at?
I'm in upstate New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We were just up there. Did you come to that show?
No, I didn't. No. Where were you guys? Syracuse?
Syracuse one time, and Schenectady.
Yeah. How do you like upstate New York when you come up here?
Beautiful, man.
Yeah,
beautiful.
It can be.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the winters are a little bit tough.
So, I certainly hear. We talked about earlier about all those different genres, that big melting pot of genres that the Everclear has been thrown into. But what I hear a lot of that really stands out in your music is a lot of punk influence, though. Where does the punk influence come from? Are you yourself a punk rock fan?
I am. I love punk. That was one of the things that Art and I really connected with when we first started talking. And like the older punk, our age, X, and Descendants, let's see, Sex Pistols, all that stuff. That second, really, it was the second wave of punk, because I was a skateboarder, and that's what we listened to.
Yep. Sure. How about as far as like other bass players who who kind of first attracted you to the bass? Was it somebody that you heard? What was your connection to getting to that particular instrument?
It was a fluke. The guys, speaking of skateboarding, the guys that I skateboarded with, they got this grandiose idea of, we're going to get a band together, and it's going to be great. We're going to have fun. It's going to be chicks and everything. I'm like, yeah. But they found me a bass, and they said, okay, you're going to be the bass player. And I tried it. We had some practices, but I couldn't get it. It didn't make sense to me. So I kind of put it away for a while, and kind of died. And then we tried it again a couple months later, and it started making sense. And that was it. And it was so engrossing to me.
Right.
That I was winning contests and stuff, and I just gave up skateboarding completely. And I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play bass. And and those guys went on to do things, and then I just took off, and I just kept on going. And I'm a radio kid. We didn't have money for records and tapes, so I liked whatever was on the radio. I
Yeah.
really did.
A lot of top 40 and stuff. Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, top 40 played everything. It wasn't like the top 40 now.
It was much better, yeah. And there was
Yeah.
much more iconic artists. I'm 49 years old, so I
Yeah.
remember, the artists were iconic. You were getting Michael Jackson and Prince and Madonna and
But Zeppelin and all the rock stuff too.
yeah.
You got
So
everything.
so this is one of those hotly debated things in music right now. What format, what platform, how do you put music out? What I mean? It's a lot of singles driven market. People are going the EP route. How about Everclear? What direction is Everclear going? You guys going to do the EP route, full length albums?
I don't know. We it's something that we're talking about, but nothing set in stone. We'll keep it up in the air and let everybody find out when we do it.
I see your child wanted to come and get a look at a real rock star over here, huh?
Yeah, she saw that hair.
Yeah, she must have heard David Lee Roth Jr. somewhere in the background there and came a running.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm used to that. I mean, look at this face. I gotta look at it. Seriously, man. So you think that's the direction though that you'll go in? Because this is widely debated. Some people are putting out singles. People are putting out EPs with 4 or 5 very tight songs. Some people are still going full length albums. It's very difficult these days to navigate through the music business.
Yeah, and I wish I knew. I met a kid actually this last weekend. We were flying home from Atlanta, and he was a rap guy, and he was like, "Man, can you just help me, go in the right direction?" And I'm like, "Dude, I wish I could. I don't know how you do it anymore. I don't think it's sending demos or anything like that, or even like you said, formats. I don't know. I think everybody's trying to find which way works.
Yeah.
And singles seem to be working. And the thing about it is, when you think about it, it's come full circle because in the 50s, that's all people did. Singles.
Right.
It wasn't until you had a couple of great singles and then you would make a record.
Well, I've met a couple of guys from thrash metal bands in here, and obviously it's even harder to achieve commercial success in that particular genre of extreme music. And a lot of them are going to the EPs, just 4 or 5 well-crafted, hard-hitting songs. As I like to say, all killer, no filler. Just fantastic tunes, and putting music out that way.
Sure. I think really, if you're gonna put out a record, it should be all killer, no filler.
Absolutely. And a lot of offerings over the years have not been though. I
know. Well, that was a problem, especially when CDs first started. They're like, okay, now we can put 75 minutes. Nobody wants to sit for 75 minutes.
No, not in today's day and age. No.
Yeah, especially not now. But even back then, they didn't. And bands insisted on putting 16, 17 songs. You don't need that. And just hit them with the good stuff. The stuff I love, like late 70s, early 80s stuff. Some of those Cheap Trick records that I love, when you look at them, the whole thing was like 33 minutes.
Right.
Short killer songs. And I think it's got to get back to that. I think it's definitely going to get back to that because, everybody's got such short attention spans.
Yeah, pretty scary.
Yeah, it is.
And you know what else is pretty scary? And I spoke to about this with somebody the other day too. There's been a resurgence in people buying vinyl records, but if that fad goes away, people aren't going to go back to CDs because now your stereo is pretty much your phone. Like we might actually see the death of a physical product, of music. I'm sure you go back a ways. I remember my dad having 8 tracks, and then we went through the cassette. We went through the cassette tape era and winding them up with pencils when they fucking started to get eaten, and then CDs, and then ultimately vinyls made another resurgence again. But people aren't going out and buying the physical product much anymore.
Yeah, no, even me. I never thought that I would just buy a record just online, but I've been doing it lately.
I've been doing it with this Apple Music. You got everything right there at your fingertips.
Yeah, anytime you get a song in your head, you can go and listen to it. So
what is the way nowadays, as far as you guys and going out and doing shows? Is it just going and doing a small handful? Is it going out full on tour?
Well, we just got back from a full-on tour.
Okay.
For, I don't know, almost 8 weeks.
Yeah.
With a break in the middle, but still. And we were out, and then that's our summer tour. And then now we go out and we'll do 2-3 days. We'll go tomorrow, we leave. We'll do Friday and Saturday, but the 2 weeks before we did Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Right.
You know.
So
Go ahead.
What's road life with when obviously, you're leaving a family behind and stuff? Do you like keeping it shorter? Do you need to keep it shorter at this period of your life?
Well,
the amount of time that you're away from the house?
Yeah, I like it better. It was always, I waited to have her for a while because I didn't want to be away so much.
Right.
But I didn't want her mom to just be taking care of her. I want to be involved.
Sure.
And it's really hard. It's really hard. Now I know why I waited.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
But like in my other band, the Exies, I was talking to our front of house guy, and he's like, "You could have never did it before. We were gone 1 year for 9 months."
Yeah. Not conducive to a good relationship. Definitely.
Yeah, you can't. Some people can. People do it.
Yeah.
But I don't think I could have. I think I would have went nuts.
Well, I'm already into grandparent territory
really?
myself.
Wow.
And the thing that I like about it is that me and my wife are 49 years old, but I remember being a kid, and I just remember being born, and my grandparents were just already like 75 years old. You know what I mean? The grandparents nowadays are becoming much younger, and I don't know what that says about our parenting skills, because our kids are obviously having kids too young. Yeah. But it does feel nice to be able to take them and keep up with them.
Yeah, no, it's great. Stuff like that. It changes and it morphs and it grows, but it is what it's supposed to be, man.
Yeah,
it is what it's supposed to be. If kids are supposed to be having, where you're a grandparent younger, well, I guess that's the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
And you fighting it's not going to change it.
So what's your schedule like as far as like you have a little one running around when you actually want to sit down and actually write music, or or practice some bass lines, or you want to do anything creative? Do you have a place in your house where you escape to? Like what's your process like when you want to go create?
Yeah, I do. My garage is made into a studio. It sounds.
Oh, nice.
So I can go out there and mess around with the bass or write some riffs or something, but it hasn't been. I haven't had a lot of time to do it.
Right.
I thought during COVID when we were locked down, I was like, all right, cool. Gonna have time, work on stuff. Never happened.
Well, now I feel like you got more time on your hands than you really want to be led to believe, because you're sitting here talking with a guy that thinks he's David Lee Roth Jr. So you actually found the time to do that. So no more procrastinating, mister. I mean, come on.
I know.
You're not wasting time on here with me. I mean, come on. We could have a great song written right now, the two of us.
I know. I have been procrastinating, but it's getting better. I'm getting better at it.
Hey, man. I mean, you've already given us so much creatively. So what do you do? Is Everclear your only musical project, or you also have side stuff that you do?
I have done some side stuff. There's nothing going on right now. I've played with a couple other bands. I did like 6 songs on a record, band called the Everyday Losers.
Okay.
And that was a lot of fun. It was very much like the Exies.
I just want people to be able to find like stuff that you're playing on out there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I've done other things since I've been in Everclear. God, what was the other thing I did? I did a thing for a band called The Ghosts of Hollywood.
Okay.
And they're a really great band too. Really great band, but they just send me, they do it like how they do it now. They send me files and I do it right here where I'm talking to you.
Right.
And it's fun, but it's great. A couple things I had to turn down during COVID because they insisted on me going into the studio. I'm like, dude, I have a kid. I have a little baby. I can't be out.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to go out and hang out and then come back home.
I remember what life was like. I remember what life was like when I had little kids. Me and my wife both worked at the same hospital. I had to work 7 to 3. She had to work 3 to 11. And we would literally, daycare is so expensive, we'd literally be passing the kids off in the parking lot and being like 2 ships just passing in the night. Have a good night at work. You know what I mean? Quick kiss, off you go. I mean, crazy. The stuff that you have to do sometimes.
Yeah, you do what you got to do, and thank goodness you guys care. Some people don't care enough, they either can't or they won't, you know, but it's so important that you guys spent so much time with your children.
Yeah, yeah, we're very hands-on with the grandkids too. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's somehow, I've told my wife this before, when the grandkids are here sometimes and the kids leave them here, it's a lot of work, and the place sometimes at the end of it all will look like a tornado fucking went through the place, you know what I mean, with just shit, empty cups and, you know, wrappers and toys everywhere, whatever. But when they all go home and we're reduced back to that quietness again, you realize that they do bring like a life energy to the house though, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's a certain energy that's brought to the home, and then all of a sudden it's back to quiet again. And you're just kind of like, you know what? It's nice to be able to relax again because we're almost 50. But in the same respect, it's like, God, they've been gone 5 minutes and I miss them already. You know?
Yeah. It's an amazing. It's, you know, I have 3 brothers, and they all have tons of kids. One of them's got 6, the other one's got 4, the other one's got 5, and it's an amazing thing. I always, you know, I loved them, and I was always the cool uncle, but but it's nothing like having your own kid. There's nothing like it. And I can imagine with grandkids it's even more.
Yeah.
You know, you're seeing
and the good thing is, Freddie, I can give those kids back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can give them back. That's the real secret, my friend. That's the real secret.
Yeah, when I was before I had Sage, and my brothers would say, "Yeah, you come over and you get all the good stuff, and then you get to leave."
Yeah.
No, and it's true. It's true.
I couldn't see your child that good. Is that a boy or a girl you have?
It's a little girl, Sage.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. I'm fortunate enough as a grandparent. I got 3 of each, 3 grandsons and 3 granddaughters. So yeah, it's all evened up on both sides. But the girls are just so hard not to just fall for. I mean, they're the best. You know, they really are. And you know what? They really do pick things up. They're a quicker study than the boys. They really are.
Oh really? You think?
No denying it. Yeah, no denying it.
Amazing. She's amazing.
Sharp as a tack.
Yeah. She started to talk now, and it's just a lot of fun.
So what would you say, like, if she were to come to you and let's say, how old is she right now? A year?
2.
If she were to come to you in 15 years and say, hey, Dad, I really want to get into the entertainment business, how would that strike you as a parent that's also worked in entertainment?
Yeah, I would tell her, you know, good luck. It's going to be a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
You know, my thoughts on that kind of thing is, you know, let them. Because people ask me all the time, "What's it like? What's it like?"
Right.
I don't want to ruin it.
Right.
It's really hard. It's really hard. I'm not gonna lie. And you sacrifice a lot.
Yeah.
You sacrifice a lot to do it. I did. And but everybody should have that chance and not be tainted by somebody going, "You're never gonna make it. It's too hard. Don't even try." You should try.
Right.
Because if you do it, I failed a lot of times.
Sure. Yeah.
Times.
Yeah.
But that's what makes you. Whether you really want to do it. I was in bands with guys that I thought were phenomenally talented, but when they got out on the road or just the grind of practicing every day and doing that stuff, it's not for everybody. But you should be able to find that out for yourself.
Well, me being the reincarnation of David Lee Roth Jr., I got to work hard. I'm up and down the Eastern Coast just in every sleaze band there is. I'm out there, man. I'm out there. And if we end up needing a bassist, I would call on you. I will call on you. As long as you can keep up. Yeah, as long as you can keep up. But so what was I going to ask you? What was I just going to ask you?
Something about kids or the band or.
Yeah, I think I was gonna ask you something about the band. Isn't that terrible, man? You see? That's true about that weed destroying your short-term memory, though.
Hey, man, whatever turns you on.
Oh no, I was gonna ask you. And by the time I put your episode up, this may be because I'm a few weeks behind. This may be older news, but I still, as a musician, want to get your perspective. What do you think about these knocks against these older bands using these click tracks or like these these false vocals? I see Kiss is getting flack for it. The big stadium tour with Motley Crue out there is kind of getting flack about are they playing with backing tracks? Are they cheating? Are they using these little tricks? As a musician yourself, when you go to see a band live, do you care if they use the tricks or does that bug you? Do you want to see the actual experience, warts and all?
Yeah, I do. But I'll tell you this, and most people should know this. There's an awful lot of young bands using those tracks and
yeah.
a lot. It's just normal. There's for some reason in society we've gotten to the point where kids want to hear it exactly like the record.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That's great. That's great. But a lot of times when you're an artist, you should be able to take what you're doing, and the crowd, if they really like you, they should like it too, that you take it to a different place. It might not be perfect, but a lot of times it's better, and it's more explosive, or it's more heartfelt. You do stuff with your songs, and I think a lot of kids that want that perfectness, they're missing it. They're missing out on a lot of fun experiences. All my favorite bands changed up the songs just a little bit, but then it's
making it your own. Yeah. I think a good band can make it their own, but still be undeniably them as well, though.
Yeah. And guys get older. I think that's hard.
I think that's a credit to what you guys did with those covers on Return to Santa Monica. You added like a nice, like that snarl of punk in there, and that hard biting edge. But you could still tell that was "I Won't Back Down," and you still credited the original version enough and kept enough of it.
Yeah. We just did it our way, and a lot of that I got to give credit. And Art comes up with these crazy ideas, and when he's telling you, he's you're like, I don't know if that's gonna work, and then we play it. I was like, oh, okay, smart.
Now, do you get to go out and actually, I know you're on the road a lot yourself or whatever, but, if you're home and you're not busy with any kind of music activity, do you yourself go out and see a lot of live music?
Not a lot. Not a lot. We were, I think the last show we went to was Aerosmith in Vegas. Okay. We went and saw that, but that was a couple years ago. It's hard. I always got.
When you see a band like when you see a legendary band on the Vegas stage like Aerosmith, what was your take on the show? Blown away?
Loved it.
Loved it.
Great. It was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I missed is being right in front, standing there watching them. It's all seated, but everybody stood up. But it's great. It's great to see them so good still. I mean, Steven Tyler is a freak of nature that he can still sing.
I think he's the second best. Frontman behind me.
Yeah.
Right? Come on, Freddie. Yeah. Just come on record on my show and say that. Second best.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I gotta say.
Well, then I'll keep a spot open if I need a bassist. Then you kept yourself in my good graces.
And it's so good that you're so humble about it too.
Yeah, of course. I mean, hey, if you're gonna toot your own horn, you might as well toot it loud into an audience full of people. I mean,
I think so.
So getting back to Art, and I don't want to make it all about him, but I just find him such a fascinating guy. I've reached out and made attempts to getting him on as well. I know he's a busy guy,
Yeah.
I know where my bread is buttered, and like if I aim too high for somebody, but I feel like someday we get a little traction going here. Someday.
Never know.
But what's it like, really? Like when he comes into a room, like how much of the creative process do you guys do together in the same room at the same time?
Oh well, when he comes in, he's got the song.
He does,
and he'll play it for us, and then we might add a take on it here and there, but it's Everclear's his band, man. He is right. He always has been. He's always written everything.
Yep, I've noticed that on the credits. Yep.
Yeah, we're under no illusions that it's not that. And anybody that thinks it's not is fooling themselves.
Right. Now, how much interaction does he have, or does he have any? And what was the split like as far as like members changing places? Is he still on good terms with Craig, or Greg, the original drummer, or any of those guys, or like how did things end? Did things end bad or amicably?
Doesn't come up, dude. I've never talked to him about it, really.
No.
Oh no. I mean, and that wouldn't be my place to say anyways, even if I knew.
Yeah.
That's a personal thing with him. It's being in a band with somebody, man. It's a personal thing. When they say,
I can imagine.
When they say that you're married to somebody in the band, you really are. And
it's like having family issues. It is.
Yeah. And sometimes you want to talk about it, sometimes you don't. And
Yeah.
You know, and when someone leaves or gets fired, it affects you. It affects everybody in
What do you
different
foresee?
ways.
How do you see how do you foresee your future and your future endeavors going forward? Like, do you see like a long life? You know, like, are you in
Yeah,
Everclear until otherwise?
yeah, yeah.
Y-
As long as they'll have me,
Yeah.
as long as they'll have me, I don't have any plans on going anywhere. I enjoy looking at those other three guys, and I really have fun. It's
So
really
you think
super
right now
awesome.
you have so right now, do you feel like this is one of the strongest lineups that the band has had?
Oh yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah. If not the, since I've been in, and we've had a few drummers, you know, and one other guitar player.
Now, does
And
anybody ever say, like you say, Art comes in with the songs? And I know that it's Art's band, man, but I mean, like, how much input do you have as far as like making suggestions? Like, do you critique the lyrics at all? Do you say, how about if we tried this line instead of that line? Or do you just take it as is that the songs are done the
yeah,
way he wants them to be done?
yeah, I know well enough, and I've watched the guy work well enough. Like he doesn't bring something if he's not totally sold
And
on
that's a lot of trust, and that's a lot of trust on behalf of you guys too. You know what I mean? To think of his think so highly of his creativity, to, to actually just, to just
it.
say,
Well,
look, we trust that these are going to be great songs.
I don't think it's really trust. It's knowing that it's going to be good.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and seeing like you can't. I mean, with his body of work, what he's done. I mean, who am I to say? I don't know about that part right there. It's like he's proven himself over and over and over for album and album.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. He's been extremely consistent.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
um, so what do you think? Really, I want to get your opinion too. Another, musical topic. How do you feel about some of these bands that go on these, these endless, the seemingly endless farewell tours? You know, are there bands that are hanging out there and taking the public's money for a little too long and staying a little too long at the party, so to speak?
I don't know. You know,
Or do you
I got
think
the
or do you have the
feeling.
attitude like do it until you can't no more and have fun?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if people want to go see them, and the band wants to do it, that's who am I to say? You know, it is what it is.
Well, it's one of my biggest pet peeves because I hate when you go on YouTube and you watch something that somebody put out and then people down in the comment section just run it down, run it down. Now, I'm not saying
Yeah,
you gotta like everything, man, but I'm kind
yeah.
of of the old school. Like, if you got nothing nice to say, then just don't say anything. I
I
mean,
agree. I agree 100%. And it's like I don't know what there's something about the internet and being behind a computer and a keyboard where all of a
yeah,
sudden people are brave.
yeah,
They
yeah,
say things that you would never say to somebody's face.
right, right.
If
It's
somebody
true,
likes something, let them like it. Let them
right.
have the joy in that. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't hurt you. It's not affecting you at all. So
Yeah, just
just
don't continue to
yeah,
watch or listen.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, then just walk away.
Well, I
But
think
but
it's very
don't.
tough too. I feel terrible for artists, because I feel like, especially art, you're essentially giving people a piece of yourself,
Yeah, yeah.
and a lot of people, don't even have the balls, for lack of a better word, to put something out there and say, hey, here's a piece of me, and I'm even gonna like allow it to be critiqued, because that's hard for a lot of us to do.
Yeah, man. That's a lot of people are watchers. There's not as many doers.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
You know?
Yeah.
It,
So,
it's hard. It's hard to put yourself out there.
are there young bands out there right now? Or do you tend to be like, I'm kind of stuck in a time warp where I find it very hard to really get excited about a lot of new bands that have come along? I look for them on Apple Music and I do try, but are there young bands out there that are going to take this goddamn rock and roll torch and carry it for us?
I there are.
Yeah.
Royal Blood is great. I
Royal
love
Blood.
Royal
Okay.
Blood. They're great. I like Highly Suspect.
Okay.
I'm really interested to hear what they're doing. I think they got a new record coming out real soon, and I liked their first two. Wasn't that big of a fan of their last one, but got real high hopes for this next record.
Okay.
And there's good. The cool thing about Everclear is Art and I were talking about it, and this last year and a half, we've been seeing more and more young kids
Yeah.
at the shows, and
Yeah.
we're like,
That's a good sign.
yeah, and Art
Yeah.
even said on stage, like, what are what are you kids doing here? And they'll yell out. They're like, well, I just started playing guitar, and Santa Monica was one of the first things I learned.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I just really like your writing, and it's fun to see a band play.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
I
cool.
I think they're getting tired of people playing with tracks. You know, I'm talking about DJs and dancing, no live
All this
bands.
synthesized music. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's, like we were just saying, if that's your thing, that's your thing.
Yeah.
But I think live rock and roll bands are new to those kids.
Right.
When you're 20, you didn't grow up with that stuff.
Right.
It wasn't big, Nirvana was 30 years ago.
I know. Blows my mind. I know. I
Isn't
know.
that weird?
Yeah. Thanks for making us both feel old, I guess. Yeah, really crazy. Now, when you look back, funny you brought them up because Kurt Cobain is one of those very polarizing figures where people either really see the genius or they just think flash in the pan. What was all the hoopla about? What was your feelings about him and Nirvana in general?
Huge fan. But I will tell you this: I didn't get it right at first.
Yeah,
it took me a few months, but man, once I got the record and really sat with it, I was like, "This is some great song. These are great songs."
Great. Okay, so it's the songs because I was going to say, what was it after a couple of months that got you to saying, "Holy shit, this is great stuff"?
It's the songs. I'm a song guy, man.
Yeah.
You give me a good song, I'm in. I am in.
So you would equate him to what they build him up to be then, every bit that, a musical genius, a great lyricist, all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, he worked hard. He worked hard and he worked on his craft. He's a great songwriter.
Yeah,
great songwriter and frontman and singer.
And
he pulled in all these parts. I mean, I hear just as much equal parts Beatles as I do punk rock.
Sure.
Stuff, and pulling, and those are all things that I really relate to.
Now, those first couple of Everclear albums, when they did come out, that was kind of right within that boom of that big Seattle grunge scene. What do you remember the most about those times? Because I was talking on here not that long ago with Gary Lee Conner, the guitar player for the Screaming Trees. And I said, how crazy was it to all of a sudden have this microscope on your city all of a sudden? And remember, everybody was buying the designer flannels and everybody was wearing boots and everybody was trying, trying to wear long johns underneath their shorts. And it was just, it was crazy. What do you remember about that time? Were you doing anything musically around that time?
Yeah, I was doing more of a, like, that's when I was doing more of a Stonesy Black Crowes thing.
Okay.
So, but I love that stuff. I love that stuff. But like I just said, I'm a song guy, so I focused in on that. What they were wearing, that's just dressing.
I know, it was crazy. It all of a sudden became hip to be from Seattle.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, I was always, to be completely honest, I was always listening to everything, but I was so involved in what I was doing. I absorbed that stuff and listened to it, but I was always very focused on what I was doing.
Right.
So the way they dressed or whatever, it didn't really matter to me. If I saw a good song, if I heard a cool Soundgarden song or Nirvana or Screaming Trees, those songs, I heard those songs.
Right.
That's a good one. That's good.
Yeah. Right. So you're drawn to the song. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, I'll give you a little tidbit of information here, though. The reason that I love them goddamn Screaming Trees, Mark Lanigan, God rest his soul, before he passed away on us earlier this year, man, he wrote his memoir, and the audio version of it is phenomenal because it's him narrating the book. I'll tell you what.
Which one?
What's the title of the book? It's called Sing Backwards and Weep.
Yeah, I just got that. I'm just starting to read that.
Do you have the physical copy?
Yeah, I have the physical copy.
Yeah, but if you can get your hands on the audio book, it's him narrating it, and he's got that very Tom Waits type voice. You know what I mean? Very gravelly and throaty. I fall asleep to it sometimes. It's so great. Just great stories. I mean, the guy really lived it pretty hard. He's got some pretty harrowing stories. Now, being as that I brought that up, harrowing stories. I don't know how much of this is personal or private, but did you ever go through any periods where you got a little wild with the party and a little out of control, or did you always stay pretty? Yeah,
a little bit. The drinking definitely, There was a time when before anything that I did with Everclear or the Exies or whatever, I spent my time playing in a disco cover band.
Okay.
Yeah, with a wig and polyester, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
And that was at a time when I had been signed to a band and it didn't work out. We got dropped. And then I started doing that for money, for one thing. And it was just fun. And it got to the point where it was so easy that I was just drinking like crazy.
Yeah.
And I just had to, and I just wasn't happy. I wanted to do my own stuff or be involved in a band that was doing originals.
Yep.
And this is a band sold out everywhere. We played the Viper Room every Friday night. All these stars were there, and it was great. It was fun.
Yeah.
But I had to do something else, and the drinking was getting to be a problem. And I had to just leave. And it was my only source of income, but I was like, man, I have to do this or it's going to kill me.
So you walked away from the music at that time to focus on
from the disco band. Yeah. From the disco band. A pretty damn good paycheck.
Yeah.
Pretty damn good paycheck. And luckily it worked out.
Yeah, it sure did. Yeah, it sure did. So so what's next for Everclear? How soon do you think we'll see a new album?
Well, we're gonna see that single as soon as we can get in and finish it.
Okay.
That's supposed to be, I think we're shooting for later before Christmas sometime.
Okay.
And we finally got our hands on some vinyl so we can repress the 30th anniversary of World of Noise, the very first Everclear record. So that should be hopefully before Christmas. And other than that, we're playing all kinds of shows. So if you want to see Everclear, just look us up on the internet.
When you go out and play these shows, like what from those from in the Everclear catalog before you joined the band, what songs when you jump up there do you love playing? I mean, obviously, obviously the crowd probably loves some Father of Mine and I Will Buy You a New Life in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
But are there deeper tracks that you guys have in your set that you really just love to play that you really connect with?
I always love playing Nervous and Weird off the very first record, World of Noise, and off So Much of the Afterglow. I love playing Normal Like You.
Okay.
Yeah, and off of Sparkle and Fade, I love playing Heroin Girl.
And does Art, when you guys go out on shows, does he predominantly decide what the set list is going to be?
Yeah, but he's always, if you ever go to an Everclear show and you hit us up on social media the day before, a couple days before, and ask for a request, if we know how to play it, he'll throw it in there.
So he's open to suggestions.
Yeah, he is. Or if there's a song one of us would like to play, we'll work on it and put it in the set.
And now, obviously, you got your hands full with a small one, but what else do you do to keep busy, like, in your own personal life? Do you have, like, other hobbies aside from music, other stuff that you enjoy doing, books, movies?
Yeah, all of that stuff. Going and seeing my family when I can, which is not very often, but when I can, I like to go and spend.
And you're up in Oregon?
No, I'm in North Hollywood, California.
You're in North Hollywood. But has Art remained in Oregon always?
No. He's in Southern California too.
Okay, everybody's gone Southern California. I like it, right?
Well, that's where he's from. He's from Santa Monica.
Oh, okay. And now, what's it like living in California? Do you love it? I'm way out here on the East Coast, completely on the other side of the.
I'm born and raised. It's the only thing I've ever known. So, I love it. It's like any place else. You get sick of it, certain parts of it. But man, I like when December rolls around and I'm in my t-shirt and shorts.
Yeah. And how often when you do these face-to-face interviews, does anybody tell you look like Keanu Reeves?
I think you're the first.
No, come on. You got to be kidding me, right?
I've never heard that before. No.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just the angle of looking straight on, but I think so.
Yeah, wow, that's nice. Thanks, man. Thanks. Maybe it's because I washed my hair.
I mean, I was off just for me, huh? I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
It's not even Saturday.
It's not even. Are there any like to the to the viewers out there? Are there any things in particular that you want them to know that's going on with you? Any activism, any things that you want to point people in any certain direction?
No. I mean, people just follow me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and
how can people
else.
find out more? How can people find out more about the cause that you're wearing on your shirt there?
Look at it says MMIWG. Just put that in and you'll get a bunch of different websites and stuff.
And these are Native American women who are being kidnapped and not accounted for.
And murdered.
Murdered and not accounted for.
And missing. Yeah.
Jesus, what kind of world the hell are we living in? Unbelievable sometimes. Yeah.
It's sad, but there's a lot of good though too.
Well, I also don't want. Yeah, see, right from the bat, Freddie. I mean, I can't end it like this on a downer note.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, so what I'm going to do right here is, I like to finish off having like a little like laugh with the guest or whatever, doing something fun with you. So I'd like to right now just have because I know you do play bass and backing vocals in Everclear, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go into a chorus of Santa Monica, and you harmonize with me.
All right.
Okay.
I'll give it a shot.
And it's going to be a rousing version. Rousing. All right. Let me see here. We can live beside the ocean, leave the fire behind,
swim out past the breaker,
watch the world die. We can live beside the ocean, leave the fire behind, swim out past the breaker, watch the world die. Boy, we're good. I'll tell you what, I might find a spot for you as a bassist in my band, the Jizz Drops.
All right, cool. I got my auto tune on, so it's all perfect.
Oh, good. I'm glad you said the auto tune, man, because I think my vocals, I'm usually better than that. I'm usually the guy with the golden voice. I mean,
well, you got the looks and the talent.
But I'll tell you what, you did a good job. I would swim out past the breakers with you anytime.
Thanks, buddy.
I would, man.
I'm waiting. I would like to end the
please.
With you jumping up and doing a David Lee Roth split kick.
Boy, that might be tough. How about a hair flip? Will you settle for a David Lee Roth?
There you go.
Or maybe you want a little bit of this must be just like living in paradise.
There you go. That's good.
Yeah?
Good. You got it.
I don't pull that out for free for just anybody, Freddy Herrera. So you just keep that in mind, all right?
All right, I won't forget.
It was really a pleasure talking to you. Everclear is the band that this guy plays in. If you don't know their back catalog, you should be taken out and impaled on a very rusty, sharp spear. That's what I'm going to tell the people out there. But I appreciate you taking the time to join us. Check this guy out and everything he does because he's a super guy. Check out his causes. Check out Everclear.
All right, man.
Band Everclear. Freddie, I really appreciate the time, buddy. Thank you so much.
Rex. I appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good night, buddy. Thank you.
See you, man. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, there you have it right there, man. A real gentleman. That is Freddy Herrera from legendary multi-platinum band Everclear out of Portland, Oregon. Check them out if you haven't. Boy, have you missed the boat, because these guys have been pumping out records since early mid-90s, and they've got some back in that time frame that are really, really kick-ass. So don't be a fucking screwhead, man. Take advice from the man who knows rock and roll. The man. Woo! And I'll tell you what, I wasn't lying. I would swim out past the breakers with him anytime, man. I think I carried him a little bit in that chorus, but, the lead singer of Everclear likes him, so I guess. But I don't know. I don't know if his vocals were strong enough to back me up in the Jizz Drops. I don't know. Maybe in one of my punk bands. Maybe I could find some room for him in the Ejaculators, but who knows. Anyway, I digress. We've kept on this soapbox for long enough. I'm going to let you kids go. And this is Rex XXX Ruger, the king of sleaze, telling you guys to take it easy and keep it sleazy. See ya.